Few athletes have ever changed a sport the way Simone Biles has changed gymnastics. She is the most decorated gymnast in history, a champion who pushed the limits of what many believed the human body could do. Every routine seemed impossible until she performed it. Every competition felt like history in the making. But behind the medals, records, and standing ovations, another story has been unfolding. One filled with setbacks, public pressure, health scares, and questions that still don't have clear answers. So how did the greatest gymnast of all time go from complete dominance to one of the most uncertain chapters of her career? The answer is far more surprising than most people realize. For years, Simone Biles looked untouchable. Born in Columbus, Ohio, on March 14, 1997, she rose through gymnastics faster than anyone could have imagined. By the 2016 Rio Olympics, she had won 4 gold medals and a bronze, leaving fans and experts wondering if anyone would ever catch her. She became so innovative that 4 official gymnastics skills were named after her, a rare honor that only the greatest athletes ever receive. Heading into the Tokyo Olympics, she wasn't simply expected to win. She was expected to dominate. But then everything changed in a matter of seconds. What happened on one vault stunned the entire sporting world. During the team final in Tokyo, Biles launched into her signature Aminar vault. She was supposed to complete 2.5 twists. Instead, she completed only 1.5 before landing awkwardly. Something was clearly wrong. Within hours, USA Gymnastics announced she had withdrawn from the competition to focus on her mental health. It was one of the biggest stories of the Olympic Games. Supporters praised her courage. Critics questioned her decision. But very few people understood what was really happening. And once the truth came out, the situation became even more frightening. Biles later explained that she was experiencing what gymnasts call the twisties. The name may sound harmless, but the condition is anything but. It causes athletes to lose their sense of where they are while spinning through the air. Imagine flipping several meters above the ground without knowing where up or down is. At the level Biles performs, that isn't just dangerous. It can be life-changing. A single mistake could lead to devastating injuries. Suddenly, her withdrawal wasn't about pressure or confidence. It was about staying alive. But would the public ever fully understand that? Over the next few days, she withdrew from almost every remaining final. Eventually, she returned only for the balance beam, performing a simpler routine and earning a bronze medal. She finished the games with a team silver and an individual bronze. For almost any athlete, that would have been an incredible result. For Simone Biles, it felt painfully incomplete. Away from the cameras, she later admitted she cried constantly and felt completely alone. She revealed that after leaving the Olympic Village, her body simply collapsed. She became physically ill for days. The strongest gymnast in the world had reached a breaking point that no medal could fix. Then came something almost nobody expected. She disappeared from competition. For nearly 2 years there were no major announcements, no big comeback plans, and no rush to return. She focused on healing, both mentally and physically. Many wondered if Tokyo had quietly ended one of the greatest careers in sporting history. But appearances can be deceiving. In 2023, she stepped back onto the competition floor. At first it was a cautious return. Then it became something extraordinary. Could she really climb all the way back to the top? The answer arrived in spectacular fashion. Biles captured another world all-around title, proving she was still the best gymnast on the planet. That success led directly to the 2024 Paris Olympics, where the pressure returned. This time, though, the story was completely different. She wasn't trying to prove she was unbeatable anymore. She was proving she could overcome failure. And once the competition began, she reminded everyone exactly why she is considered the greatest of all time. In Paris, Simone Biles delivered one of the greatest Olympic comebacks ever seen. She won 3 gold medals and 1 silver, thrilling audiences with routines that once again seemed almost impossible. Every landing, every flip, and every performance showed the confidence that had disappeared in Tokyo. By the end of the games, her Olympic medal total had reached 11, adding even more weight to an already legendary career. But hidden behind those celebrations was something fans didn't fully realize. Her body had taken another hit. Why would that matter later? During the Olympics, Biles suffered a calf injury but continued competing through the pain. It didn't stop her from winning, yet it highlighted something impossible to ignore. After more than a decade at the highest level, her body had absorbed enormous punishment. When the games ended, she stepped away from competition once again. She didn't retire. She didn't promise another comeback either. Instead, she simply said she needed time, explaining that her mental and physical health had to be in balance before making any future decisions. Naturally, attention shifted to one big question. Would Los Angeles 2028 become her final Olympic chapter? Away from gymnastics, Biles remained one of the biggest names in sport. She attended award shows, appeared in interviews, traveled with her husband Jonathan Owens, and continued building a hugely successful brand through endorsement deals. Life seemed calmer than it had been in years. But public life comes with its own challenges. And in 2025, a completely different controversy suddenly placed her back at the center of intense debate. This time, it had nothing to do with gymnastics. The controversy began after comments about a transgender athlete competing in a Minnesota high school softball championship. Former swimmer Riley Gaines criticized the winning team's transgender pitcher online. Biles fired back with sharp personal insults, calling Gaines a sore loser and making remarks that many viewed as crossing the line. The internet exploded. Supporters applauded her defense of transgender athletes. Others criticized the personal attacks. Before long, Biles apologized, admitting her comments had become too personal and acknowledging that the issue was more complicated than a social media argument could solve. But even that apology divided opinion. Could any response have satisfied everyone? The episode showed just how different life had become. Simone Biles was no longer judged only for her performances on the gymnastics floor. Every public statement now carried enormous weight. Around the same time, she openly shared another deeply personal decision. She revealed that she had undergone cosmetic procedures, including breast augmentation, lower eyelid surgery, and earlobe reconstruction. Rather than hiding it, she explained that she wanted to be honest with her followers and believed women should feel free to make their own choices without shame. That honesty sparked yet another discussion. Plastic surgeons interviewed by the media suggested that the breast augmentation could slightly affect balance, rotation, and movement if she ever returned to elite gymnastics. They stressed that adaptation was possible with proper training, but the conversation quickly spread through the gymnastics community. Suddenly, people weren't only asking whether Biles wanted another comeback. They were questioning whether her body would allow one. And then an even bigger mystery emerged. In June 2026, Biles posted a photo that instantly worried millions of fans. The image showed hospital wristbands wrapped around her arm. Her caption was brief but alarming. She revealed that she had almost died earlier that week and described it as one of the scariest experiences of her life. She explained that Jonathan Owens had been away at football practice while she recovered in bed, but she gave no details about what had actually happened. No diagnosis. No explanation. Just a promise that she might talk about it later. Days passed. Then weeks. The answers never came. And that silence only fueled more questions. Despite describing a life-threatening emergency, Biles soon appeared in public again. She attended the ESPY Awards, traveled overseas, and looked healthy. Yet nobody knew whether those appearances reflected a full recovery or simply determination to keep moving forward. Then, in July 2026, she shared another hospital photo. This time she was preparing for an undisclosed medical procedure while Jonathan Owens sat beside her. She joked about waking up singing after the operation, but once again she didn't explain what the procedure involved. Was it connected to the near-death emergency? Or was it something completely different? Nobody outside her closest circle knew. As these unanswered questions continued, the gymnastics world kept moving. Several of her former Olympic teammates announced their own competitive returns. Others began preparing for the road to Los Angeles 2028. Biles even revealed that she had met with her longtime coach, suggesting she hadn't completely ruled out another comeback. But meeting a coach and returning to Olympic-level gymnastics are two very different things. At 29 years old, after years of physical punishment, recent surgeries, and an unexplained medical emergency, the path ahead looked more uncertain than ever before. Even so, one thing can never be taken away from Simone Biles. Her achievements have already secured her place in sporting history. 11 Olympic medals. 30 World Championship medals. 4 official skills named after her. Millions earned through partnerships with major global brands. She transformed gymnastics forever and inspired countless young athletes around the world. But a legendary career doesn't automatically reveal what comes next. And that is exactly where her story stands today. After Tokyo, many believed her career was over, only for her to return and conquer Paris in unforgettable fashion. Now, another crossroads has appeared, surrounded by unanswered questions about her health, her future, and whether she still wants to chase one final Olympic dream. Maybe she shocks the world once again. Maybe she decides her legacy is already complete. Or perhaps an entirely different chapter is waiting beyond gymnastics. Whatever happens next, one thing has become clear. Simone Biles has never followed the script people expected. And that may be the biggest reason the world still can't look away.